All right, so we're going to move on to the best horror video game all time. We took the top 16 from both of the previous brackets. So you basically had the old generation versus the new generation, mashing them up. And we'll go through a top 10. Before we do, Jim and I just want to say this one doesn't make quite as much sense because the winners of the previous bracket, which were Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4, you'll see the results, but we had significantly less voters for this one. And for a video game bracket, this is the lowest amount. We had 850 votes.
Pretty low.
Still a solid amount of votes, but man, that's low for us. So we were talking. We don't know if we didn't promote it enough. I don't know. Let's just get into it. Number 10, the Resident Evil 1 remake. I was very hopeful it would make this list. This or Resident Evil 1 was my number 1. I think it was Resident Evil 1, but we'll see.
Yep.
Number 9, Silent Hill.
First one.
Obviously. Excellent game.
Yep.
Number 8, Condemned Criminal Origins.
It's nice to see like a non-standard horror title make the top 10.
The only confusing thing is that didn't make the top 10 in the previous list.
A little weird.
It was high.
It was 11.
But, yeah, the fact that now it's number 8, like it's beating these other games, besides the point. Resident Evil 7, as I said, that was really high last game, or last bracket. So
a little drop off.
Resident Evil 1 is number 6.
That was my number 1.
Yeah, I wish I would have screenshot mine. I think that should be higher. That's neither here nor there. Number 5, The Last of Us. Not shocked. Number 4, Dead Space. Now, this is where it gets weird, because Dead Space was so much lower than Last of Us and all those other games, but now it jumped. So, either we just have people that were dedicated to voting for Dead Space, or I don't know. Number 3, Doom. Not shocked. I know a lot of people are going to say it's not a horror game, but it was so high. It was number 2 on our first bracket, so I'm not shocked it's so high here. Number 2 is Resident Evil 2, which...
Previous winner.
Makes absolute sense. But then comes the one that makes no sense.
Silent Hill 2.
So...
Which I am perfectly fine with being number 1, but...
Yeah, I'm not.
Of course not.
I mean, just if we're just using logic, putting aside your personal feelings, if you base its position on the previous bracket to now, it makes sense. It's basically we didn't have enough voters actually looking at this.
Okay.
But no. Silent Hill 2, excellent game. I'm not trying to dig away at its legitimacy, but I'm just saying from a logic standpoint, it should have been Resident Evil 2 or 4.
One would think.
That's all I'm saying.
Maybe in that month people got sick of it.
This was a really big upset. I don't know. I mean, if I would have picked... My personal thing between 2 and 4 would be 2, of course, Resident Evil.
Like, I think in a perfect world, like, it would come down to these 2 games. So I think, like, the last 2 games we had makes sense to be the final 2 games. And now, considering the history of our brackets, the fact that Resi 2 didn't win is kind of weird. I'll take that.
And our top 15 kind of capture all the games I would expect to be here.
Not one goddamn Splatterhouse game, though.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Splatterhouse,
Sons
Jim.
of bitches.
Why don't we look at the bottom 5? Before we move on to the bottom 5, is there anything else you want to say about the top?
Nah, I mean, I'm basically fine with the numbers.
Okay. So, with our bottom 5, number 28, we have Splatterhouse 3. I know you don't think this. I think it's the best Splatterhouse game.
I think it's the worst one.
No, honestly, I think 1 is the worst, even though I like that so much. 2 is a much better version of 1. 3 is... The biggest issue I have...
2 is a better version of 1.
You know what I hate about 3 is the time limit. That thing ruins a game.
Well, it's the time limit, and it's the fact that you have to learn you have to play through so much to learn the correct order, or you'll never get, like, the right endings.
Okay, I might have misspoken.
Like, I think 1's more fun.
I think Splatterhouse 2 is my favorite, then Splatterhouse 3, then probably 1. Well, I'm not even considering a remake. I don't know where that's...
Or a remake, or a Wanpaku.
Oh, yeah. Wanpaku is damn fun.
Yeah.
Either way, I think in that whole chopping order of actual fun games, 1 probably falls to the bottom. Especially on that shitty turbo graphics. Don't get me started on that.
The arcade port. There it is.
The arcade port is great. But Jim's like, ooh.
What about the Tandy port, Bri?
I don't even know what that is.
Or no, the FM Towns Marty, I should say.
Still don't know what that is.
It was a Japanese gaming computer.
Exactly.
You can buy a copy of Splatterhouse on it for like $600 or arcade port.
Almost lost some of my beer. I actually did lose some of my beer.
Way to go.
All right.
That's what happens when you diss Splatterhouse 1.
On the Turbo Graphics. All right, number 29, The Uninvited, which I like this game, but I'm also a weird horror fan.
Oh, shit.
So I'm not... Yeah, see? Talk shit. You suck that.
I was emotionally traumatized from that awful argument we had.
All right, so The Uninvited...
Give me that!
I'm not shocked this is low. It's a very niche game. I'm shocked it made it to the final bracket like this, but it's a fun NES title. Fatal Frame. I just started playing this about 6 months ago. Haven't beat it yet. Creepy as shit. If you ever saw The Ring or The Grudge and you hate creepy girls with black hair covering their face and coming at you, yes, thank you, Jim. This is a good game for you, but it's another one. It's very odd with the camera being your weapon. 31, Alone in the Dark 4. Jim and I both wondered how the hell did it make it on the final bracket. But
I'm shaking my head at that, and I'm shaking my head at something else right now.
Yeah, this really grinds my gears. Number 32 being Clock Tower for the PS1. How does Clock Tower for the PS1 not beat Clock Tower for Super NES? I get it. The Super NES Clock Tower is a good game. But Clock Tower 1 for the PS1, other than
especially our audience.
Yeah.
There's definitely way more of a chance you played the PS1 one than the fucking Super Famicom one.
And here's the deal. I know load times suck. I know graphically it could be questionable, but that game was so much fun. That with Resident Evil were the games that spawned my oh man, video games could be really horror based, and it really, really took me down that path. So I'm really just shocked that that's the last one. But with not as many votes as usual, I guess it makes a little more sense.
Also, I was mad because there was a ad for another bracket at the bottom of the page just said Fortnite stuff.
Of course.
Which almost has as many goddamn votes as the finals of our horror bracket.
So, thank you guys who have voted. In the future, we might do some other tiered, multi-brackets to get to a final bracket. But I think every Halloween time, I'm going to do horror games, especially with new games come out, especially since January. Resident Evil 2. Yeah. Are you excited? Now you'll probably play more fucking pinball.
You might be right. I'll still be going through all my pinball games at that point.
So, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. If you have any other suggestions or games you think we should add to those type of lists, let us know.